Hi, everybody. John Harris here from the Cheap Seats. Billy's still on assignment, checking out games down in the NFC South, checking on things in the New Orleans area. So we'll thank Billy and we'll get a report from him this week. He did send in his picks. We'll go over that and this week's picks coming up. But some other sports news to talk about first. Shohei Ohtani, a free agent in baseball, formerly of the Anaheim Los Angeles Angels, has signed a new contract worth $700 million to go to the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's right, 10 years, it's about $70 million a year. It's going to be deferred so that the Dodgers can continue to field a competitive team with other players around them, so without the salary cap hurting them. But yes, Shohei Ohtani is now an official member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He will not pitch this season, but he will hit due to his the operation he had to have Tommy John surgery on his arm for the second time. But they must think that he's going to be doing okay with it after this 1 year of sitting out from pitching. And of course, he will be hitting and probably filling in the outfield on occasion. But I don't think so, because if it's anything like Bryce Harper's situation, he may play first base if they want him to, but that's probably about it. I will think he probably would DH most of the time. Shohei Ohtani, now a Dodger. That is the top free agent that would be in Major League Baseball. There's still a few others out there, but that's the big one, and he's gone now to the Dodgers. So everyone else is out of the running. In college football, LSU's Daniels quarterback beat out UW's Penix to win the Heisman. It was very close between the two, but most people did think Daniels edged him out, and that's exactly how it played out. So Daniels is the Heisman Trophy winner from Louisiana State University. And we go back to, it looks like football. Let's see. Yep, that'll be it. Army did outlast Navy today in the annual Army-Navy game. Big goal line stand, and Army was able to hang on and beat Navy today. In football, well, there's a couple of football news to talk about as well. The Jacksonville Jaguars are planning, thinking that Trevor Lawrence will play at quarterback this week. So it looks pretty good for him to play, even though it looked bad last week when he got that injury late in the game. But last week, but it looks like he's going to be okay, and they're planning for him to be able to play Sunday and start this week for the Jags. Also, the Crew stayed, as they say, true to the identity. They landed their third MLS Cup today. So congratulations to the Crew for winning the MLS Cup. The Lakers took the NBA Cup as the winner of the in-season tournament, as they beat the Indiana Pacers. AD exploded, had 41 points and 20 rebounds. So great game for AD. And Los Angeles and the Lakers come out winners in the first NBA Cup. And last but not least, it looks like the referees are going to be examined under scrutiny for multiple non-PI calls. There were a few last week, not just in the Kansas City game, but other games as well across the league the last few weeks. There's been some very obvious pass interference calls that have not been made. So the NFL is going to be checking those out and see what's going on with those. That is pretty much the end of the major sports talk and major sports stories going on today and over the weekend. Before we go on from the cheap seats, like we said, Bill's on assignment. We are brought to you by who? By our great sponsor, Vineland Realty Corporation from Vineland, New Jersey. They're located at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland. Their phone number 856-690-9482. If you've got a real estate need, whether it's business, whether it's residential, whether you want to buy, sell, lease, rent, and like we said, it can be business or residential, give the folks at Vineland Realty a call. Ask for my pal Dennis and Graldi, and we thank Dennis for supporting us all these years. And they they have all the resources you need, folks, even if it's not in the South Jersey area. Anywhere you want, you can give them a call, 856-690-9482. Or if you are in the South Jersey area, pop into the office at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vinyl, New Jersey. Let them know that from the Public John and from the Cheap Seats, we sent you over, and they'll be able to help you out with any or all of your real estate needs. So let's go over last week's records. We had a lot of games that were different, either on the spread or the over-under, or just picking the win. Last week, Bill was 10-3 in his picks, but 5-7-1 against the spread. Tough week for Billy. Not that bad, but not great. But he was 10-3 on the over-under, so that was a good week for him. I also was 10-3 on my picks. I was also 10-3. Actually, yes, 10-3 exactly on my 10-2-1 on the odds against the spread. Good week for me. And over under, not quite so good, 7-6 above 500, but not a great week there. So what does that do to our overall records? Well, Bill and his picks is 127-78 with no ties at 62%. Against the spread, he's 105-81 with 8 pushes, 56.5 against the spread. Over under 100 wins, 83 losses, 3 pushes. So he's at 54.6%. For me, picks 125-77. No ties at 62%. Against the spread of 105-83 with 5 pushes. Billy and I basically are the same. I'm at 54.4%. So about a half a game out, I called him, not even a full half game. And over under, I'm 103-85 with 6 pushes at 54.8%. Again, right with Bill, who was at 54.6. So there you have that. We are ready to go and make our picks for this week. Well, let me give them to you right now. First off, as posted, the New England versus Pittsburgh had an over-under of 30.5. Pittsburgh was picked by 5.5 points. New England won the game. Bill took Pittsburgh in the under. Strangely, somehow, I took the over, and it did come out to pass. They were over, and I took New England to win and against the spread. So I'm up on them this week, 1-0, but it's a long week and a lot of games this week. So you only have 2 teams with a bye. There are 15 games this week. Arizona's on a bye, as are the Washington Commanders. Detroit is picked over Chicago in Chicago by 3. Bill is taking Detroit to cover the spread to win by more than 3. The over-under is 43 points. Bill's taking the over. I'm doing the exact thing. Detroit across the board with the over. Houston is picked over the Jets by 3.5. The over-under is 32.5. Bill is taking his upset pick of the week and is taking the Jets to win that one. And I am kind of surprised by that. He's also taking the over 32.5. I'm taking Houston to win that game and even to cover the spread by more than 3.5. So we have a difference there. The Rams against Baltimore, I'm surprised, but it's a 7.5 point spread for Baltimore. I was surprised the spread's that high. Bill's taking the Rams, as am I. We're both taking upset picks here, and we're both taking the over 39.5. I think the game will go over that point spread as well. So there's no difference there, but we're both taking an upset. So I'm going to mark that down because it's an upset picked by both of us. Carolina and New Orleans, the over-under is 39. The Saints are picked by 6. Bill's down in that area, so he's getting some of the hubbub on it. We're both did the same thing. We both took New Orleans, and we both took the over. We think the Saints will beat up on Carolina. Atlanta is hosting Tampa Bay. The over-under is 41 points. Atlanta's picked by 2. Bill is taking Atlanta to win and cover the 2-point spread. And go under 41. I'm going out in a couple limbs here. I'm going to go exactly opposite of Bill and take Tampa Bay to win the game, and I'm taking the over 41 points total. Indianapolis and Cincinnati. Bill took Cincinnati. Cincinnati is favored by 2. The over-under is 44. I'm going to take Indy. And that's technically an upset pick, so I'm going to take that one. I think Indianapolis will win. Cincinnati is playing their backup quarterback, but boy, he was lights out last week. If he is this week, I may regret this pick. But for now, I'm going to go with Gardner Minshew. Minshew Mania is in Indianapolis, and we'll see what happens there. Though I think Jonathan Taylor might still be out for Indy. I think they'll have a good enough game plan to just beat out Cincinnati. That's a big game for Cincinnati and for Indy in the playoff hunt. Jacksonville at Cleveland. It looks like Trevor Lawrence will play. That's huge. In that case, Jacksonville is favored by 3. And the over-under is 33. I'm going to go with the over. So is Bill, but he's taking Cleveland. I'm taking Jacksonville, especially with Lawrence back in. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Bill said he may change a game or two, and I think that's one of the games he's thinking about possibly changing. So we'll see if Bill changes that. If so, we'll post that for you. The Cincinnati over-under was 44. Bill thinks that'll go under. I think it'll go over, by the way, Cincinnati and Indianapolis. Seattle at San Francisco, big division game, but the point spread is huge. They're picking San Francisco to win by 13.5. I know that Geno Smith was banged up, but last I knew he was going to play for Seattle at quarterback. The over-under is 46 points. Bill took San Francisco to win, but Seattle to cover because it's a 13.5 point spread. But after seeing what San Francisco did to Philly last week, I am all about the eye test, and my eyes think San Francisco is really too tough right now, and I think they're going to win that one, and I think they're going to cover the 13.5 point spread. I think it's going to be big time. It's a home game for the Niners as well. Minnesota and Vegas. This could be a tough game. Dobbs is still going to be your quarterback for Minnesota. They named him. They should get Justin Jefferson back, only the best receiver maybe in all of the NFL. He's back this week as well. The over-under is 40 points. I'm taking the over in Minnesota. Bill's taking the over. He's taking Minnesota to win the game, but he's taking Vegas to cover the 3-point spread. And let me see, Buffalo, Kansas City, another great game. Both are lobbying. Buffalo needs to win to make the playoffs. The Chiefs want to win to stay in line for a possibility at that number 1 seed. They're out by about a game right now. It's a 1-point spread, picking Kansas City in Kansas City by 1. The over-under is 49. I'm taking the under. Both teams haven't scored as many points this season as they usually do. Bill's taking the over. Bill's going to take Buffalo. I'm going to take Kansas City. I think the Chiefs may wake up and smell the coffee and realize how important this is. Though I will say their best runner, Pacheco for Kansas City, is out. So they'll have to bank on Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jared McKinnon for their running back stuff. So we'll see what happens. Denver is playing the Chargers in LA. Technically a home game for the Chargers, but normally those LA games, the other team has a lot of fans there, and sometimes it sounds like it's their home game. The Chargers are picked by 2.5. The over-under is 44. Denver is picked. Billy's picked Denver. So did I, and we both picked the under. So I think Denver's defense is a little better than the Chargers. So I think it's going to be Denver. And they might have 1 or 2 more weapons that are a little better than the Chargers' weapons. I think Denver's coming on, and they're making a playoff push as well. So their defense is really good, and Chargers have had trouble scoring points lately. So I think it's going to be Denver, and so does Bill. Sunday night football, Philadelphia and Dallas. It is a 3.5 point spread for Philadelphia, for Dallas. I apologize. I'm going to double check that point spread for you. It is 51.5 is the over-under. Huge total for the over-under, but both of these teams have been scoring like crazy. So yeah, it could be a 35-25 game, which puts you at 60 right there. So that could take it way over the line right there. and over that 51.5. I think that's what's going to happen no matter who wins it. I think it'll be give me just a second here, folks. I'm going to check that line for you here because it didn't look quite right. So let's take a look at the Dallas Philadelphia lines. Here we go. Sunday Night Football, la 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 la. It is 3.5. Dallas is picked by 3.5. So, all right. Both of us, Bill's picking Philadelphia to cover the 3.5. He thinks it's gonna be a close game, but Dallas to win. I'm an Eagles fan, but there's a difference between being a fan and playing with your money. I think Dallas is playing very well right now. I think the Eagles are struggling a little bit. So I think Dallas is going to win the game. I think they're going to cover a 3.5-point spread. And I think this game's going to go over 51.5 points. So we do have a difference there. I'm taking Dallas across the board. Bill's taking Dallas to win the game, but Philadelphia to cover. 2 Monday night football games this week. Tennessee at Miami. Miami's picked by 13 points with a 46-point over-under. Bill thinks Miami will win the game and Tennessee will cover and go over the 46 for a total. I think Miami's going to win across the board. I think they're covered at 13. Tennessee has no offense at all, I don't think, outside of Derrick Henry. Their quarterback situation is a rookie. He may hang tough, but they just don't have offensive weapons. I think it's going to be Miami by more than the 13, and I think they're going to go over as well. And last but not least, the late Monday night game starts at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Is Green Bay against the Giants. Tommy DeVito is starting at quarterback instead of Tyrod Taylor, but he is back and available. He'll be the number 2. Daniel Jones, of course, still out here. I think he's out for the season. Green Bay is picked by 6.5, and Bill thinks Green Bay will win the game. The Giants will cover, and it'll go over the 37-point over-under mark. I think the same way. I'm going to change it, folks. I had Green Bay and the Giants, but I think Green Bay is looking pretty good, and I get the feeling they're going to win by more than the 6.5. Again, the eye test and memory and everything, so we're going to go with that. So there we go. I'm picking Green Bay across the board. So there you have it. Bill and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games that are different either through pick, through spread, or through over-under. So that'll be interesting. There are injuries. We already talked about those. People are saying that it looks like Jalen Hurts is injured. He's not on an injury report or anything. If anything, he's probably banged up. I don't know if Dallas Goedert is back yet. The Philadelphia did sign Shaq Leonard. They're hoping he can play and is up to speed to help them out in the middle because that's where they've had some problems at linebacker. They've had a lot of injuries at linebacker. So the middle of the field has been a problem for Philadelphia. So we'll see what happens there. Trevor Lawrence, we'll see if he's back and ready to go. Supposedly they're planning on him starting. The official announcement isn't going to be made till just before game time. Everything else is people on IL that we already expected. So there you have it. They are our picks for week 14. Enjoy the games, everybody. We hope you guys have a great week and a great weekend of sports and football. We'll update you on the picks and on the Thursday night game this coming week. Enjoy the games, everybody. For my pal Billy Smith, who is on assignment, he hopefully will be back next week. I'm John Harris. Thank you to all you folks that gave me some well wishes. Everything's going to be fine. Just battling through a couple minor things, but no big deal. It looks like it's all going to be taken care of. It's just a matter of dealing with it now. That's all. So thank you, folks, for well wishes and thoughts and prayers, and appreciate it, and appreciate everybody who let me know those. Otherwise, we will talk to you guys next week. I'm John Harris, like I said, for Billy Smith, Dennis Ingraldi, and the folks at Vineland Realty Corporation, and for all you folks and everybody here at Public John Media helps us put this thing on. I'm John Harris from the cheap seats. Enjoy the games, everybody.